Hello chums, and welcome to Taming a Monster, the series where I take some of Gran Turismo 7's most ridiculous cars to see if I can tweak them so that a talentless pleb like me can handle them without being killed to death. Like any common ruffian, I'm using a bog standard PlayStation 5 controller, and I have all driver assists turned off, except for ABS. Let's see what car is trying to murder me today! I am slightly late to the party with this one. Gran Turismo 7 has some utterly stupid front-wheel drive engine swaps, and this is possibly one of the stupidest. Whoever thought to take a diesel Mazda hatchback and squeeze an 800 horsepower Mitsubishi engine into it must have been on some jolly fine drugs. As usual, all upgrades have been fitted, including power upgrades, weight reduction, wide body, and the body rigidity increase. None of the settings have yet been touched, except for downforce, which is maxed, and the transmission, which has already been adjusted to suit this car. I have fitted aftermarket wheels one size up from standard. In front-wheel drive cars, this can slightly improve agility, though curbs will unsettle the car slightly more. I have fitted a front splitter for front downforce and a rear wing for rear downforce. If you're interested in learning more about aero, downforce, or any other aspect of tuning your car, I have a series called Tuning for Beginners which covers everything from suspension to differential to the transmission. As is the case with my more recent monster taming videos, I decided to take the Mazda Demio to the Nordschleife to get a baseline lap. This way I'll either look like a genius when I knock 15 seconds off after its tweaks, or I'll look like a cock when I don't improve the time at all. It drives terribly. 800 horsepower is, unsurprisingly, far too much for a car with wrong-wheel drive. The car is wobbly under braking, which can cause some instability, but beyond that, it's fairly easy to keep on the road. The main issue is simply the wheel spin. Ow! The car spins away the majority of its power until well over 150 miles per hour. My time to beat is 6 minutes 48. For my first changes, I increased the natural frequency and anti-roll bars, which may not help with the overall stability, but it will reduce body roll and give me a slightly better starting point for further tweaks. I also adjusted the body height to make the car look more even. This won't help the handling, but it will help my OCD. I then set up a custom race at the Lake Maggie course in order to test my adjustments. The reduction in body roll made the car feel more predictable, but the whole race was dominated by the car fighting for traction. Corner exit is where cars like this fall completely flat on their faces, and I fell way behind the competition. Move it, dum-dum! Next up, I increased the damping ratio, which usually makes the car less bouncy over the curbs. I decreased camber, which slightly improves straight line traction, and hopefully will slightly reduce wheel spin. I also added some rear toe out, which will decrease understeer. I then reduced all three settings on the differential, which will help with overall agility. The overall handling characteristics were now tidier, more predictable, and in general the car felt faster through the corners. Naturally though, the overwhelming wheel spin still completely hobbled the Mazda's ability to exit corners with any kind of pace. Silly twats. My final change was ballast weight. Adding some weight to the front axle should push the front tyres into the ground and improve corner exit speeds. It will hurt the braking performance as well, but sometimes the trade-off is worth it. The trade-off was worth it. Modern cars like this typically have decent brakes, so it handled the extra weight without too much trouble. The positive result of the trade-off is that the Demi Evo was no longer being completely left behind when exiting corners. On the other hand though, the nose heaviness had introduced some very mild instability when braking, so we'll have to see how it handles if we go back to the Nordschleife. Mercifully, the setup handled the Nürburgring just fine, so this is my final tune for the car. The Mazda Bishi is somewhere near the top of the list of utterly stupid engine swaps. It's like giving a Chihuahua the front legs from a Greyhound. It's also very similar to another front-wheel drive engine swap featured a while ago in this series, the Suzuki Swift Sport with the twin Hayabusa V8 engine. Performance between the two is overall very similar. They both weigh less than a ton, and they both push nearly 800 horsepower from a race car engine through the front wheels. The main difference is that the Lancer engine sounds like a vacuum cleaner, and the V8 engine in the Swift sounds like a tin full of Angry Hornets on helium. Both cars are very ill-suited to their respective engines, but if you're picking between the two, I would take the Suzuki just on sound alone. With this Mazda, there is some mild power drop-off at high revs, which can be mitigated by short shifting, but it's ultimately quite pointless because the Demi Evo will be spinning away a decent amount of its power regardless, especially on the Nordschleife where there's several bumps and crests which increase the chances of wheel spin even more. It's only past 150 miles per hour where short shifting makes even the slightest difference to your lap times. I can't help but think this car might have been more entertaining, and more well suited, to the 13B rotary engine. In the end, the Evo Mazda Demio managed a 6 minutes 38, which is 10 seconds faster than my baseline lap. It's also pretty much equal to the Hayabusa engine Swift. So, that was my attempt to tame the Mazda Demio with the Lancer Evo Gr.B engine. I hope this video helped. If so, please like, subscribe, and touch my bell so that you get notified of my future uploads. Take care of yourself, and ta-ra.